So I had to do a cut here because the SuperCoach website decided to shit its pants once again. So thanks for that. Thankfully, not as bad as when it did when LDU was a late out. So the two trades that I definitely want to make, Jinby and Baker, both of those rookies are expendable. And the two rookies I want to bring in. First one, Dylan Williams. I don't really have a strong gauge on him, but it seems like he will hold his spot. And playing in defense, if he can score 50s, he'll make money. Job security is definitely shaky, though. The rookie I probably prefer is Seamus Mitchell. But if I bring him in, then it's a bit of a dilemma because then I have to bring in someone next week to do downgrades. And is there a better rookie to do downgrades with next week? Probably unlikely. So it's probably Dylan Williams in for me. A lot of people will get Matty Johnson as well. I'm not really convinced over the job security. It was named for his first game, played in midfield, and then once Will Brodie was subbed on, he ended up playing forward. So I'm not sure if he holds his spot or not. Brodie actually looked fairly good coming out of the sub vest. So I'm not sure if I don't think his leash is very long. And then the other player I'm bringing in, Matty Roberts, and another player that's been sub a bunch, but he scored really well on the weekend. And I think with the 93 in the system, and if he gets dropped in a couple of weeks, then so be it. He still will have made a decent amount of cash. So I'm willing to take the gamble on Roberts. I mean, there isn't really much else to any other rookies that are worth bringing in anyway. So Roberts at 130k with a 93 in the cycle. He's good enough to bring in. So where does that take me? That takes me to, let's optimize this actually. So that gives me 380k in the bank. I do have 3 boosts left, and I'm not going to sit on 380k. This is upgrade season. We want to get as many premiums on field as possible. And so what are the options? There are essentially 3 options that I'm considering. I can get rid of Cowan. That leaves me pretty short on money, though. I think that leaves me, about 580k. So I could afford Luke Ryan. I could afford Sinclair. Or I could swing Chesser back and get a midfielder. And that midfielder would have to be Zach Merritt. But I'm not 100% sold on that. And firstly, he would need to get over his tribunal ban. But secondly, it's a fairly tough run coming up. In saying that, he did score well against Melbourne, who are supposed to be a tough matchup. So I don't mind it. And Cowan is probably the most expendable of the rookies that I have left. But I'm willing to cut off a rookie that's probably got a bit more cash to be made in order to strengthen the side. So the player I really want to get in is Took Miller. And what I really want actually is this site to work well, but we can't have everything in life. And so if I trade out Wilmot, I can afford Miller by the skin of my teeth. 1,200 left in the bank, and Wilmot has a 1,000. Yeah, he's. Okay, I guess I don't get to see it, but he's got a 23 break even. So I still think he's got like somewhere between 20 to 40k left to make. But you don't win SuperCoach by having the most money at the end of the season. You win it by having the most points. So I really like Took Miller with this matchup and with this series of matchups. The other player that, from a money point of view, is probably more expendable than Wilmot is Cade Chandler. He has a 47 break even, but he's also, Melbourne have got a fairly good run of fixtures coming up. So I still think Chandler, I think he can go 70 in both of those games coming up, whereas Wilmot probably more a 55-60. I did the maths. Chandler needs to outscore Wilmot by about 15 points to make over the next 2 rounds to make the same amount of cash. I think if I had to put a guess, it'd probably be about 10 points, but I'm willing to sacrifice that cash gen. It might only be an extra 5 or 10K that Wilmot makes over Chandler, in my opinion, in order to get that extra points on field. So at this stage, this is what the last trade is going to look like, Wilmot to Miller. It could change, though. Maybe, Chandler gets rested, though I do doubt that he gets rested now with Spargo. He got concussed and I'd expect... Yeah, he'd be in the protocol, so Chandler should be safe from arrest this week. No one else I really think is worth getting rid of, so I think this is the last trade I want to lock in at this stage. Even if Tom Green gets suspended, I've got Matt Roberts there to cover his score. I guess the other good thing about getting Dylan Williams in this week is that I can see what he scores first, and if it's good, then I put Madden on field. What else is there to touch on? I can't loophole in I can't loophole in defense. I guess I'd probably have to take Dylan Williams' score in most scenarios to take a vice captain score. Who is the vice captain going to be? So my only real loopable players may be Davey, but we won't find out if Davey is in the 22 until I think Sunday night. So I'm not willing to wait that long just to see if I have a loophole or a late loophole or not. There's still 2 games to target if I'm going to use Madden as the loophole. First one, Fremantle and Western Bulldogs. I have Darcy, but that matchup scares me. I honestly think English... I'm very scared of English going like 30 or 40 points on Darcy's head this week. English is the more mobile ruckman. If you're comparing work rates, Darcy is like a low work rate, whereas English is like a medium high attacking defensive work rate. So it's scary fading English. I think he can put up a fair few points on Darcy this week. I think this will be one of Darcy's worst games, so not willing to go him. Bontempelli could go for him back in form. I think I'm going to go for a pod, though, and that'll be Connor Rozee up against West Coast at Adelaide Oval. I think this could be an opportunity for him to have a ceiling game, and he does have a pretty good ceiling. So, West Coast, they're probably... Are they spoon favourites? They'd have to be close to spoon favourites if they're not. And Connor Rozee, I think it's an opportunity for him to fill his boots. Captain could go Took Miller against North Melbourne. Hard not to go Clayton Oliver, though, in a matchup that he has thrived in. He had 20 touches in the last quarter last week, and I don't know. It feels wrong not to captain him in that kind of matchup. So, yeah, Clayton Oliver captain, Rozee vice captain, the 3 trades, definitely boosting this week. Next week, not entirely sure what I'll do. It's probably 2 of McKenna, Ashcroft, and Chandler going out. Maybe even all 3. Maybe Cowan, maybe Davey, maybe boosting. I don't know. It's been a long video. Thanks for sticking with me. My head's kind of gone now. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully we can all do well this week. Would love to crack the top 1K in the next few weeks. Realistically, though, I'm just hoping that English doesn't punt my season into oblivion. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.